First news is UK media accuses Liverpool of sleepwalking versus Tottenham as boos addressed. Second news is Gary Lineker drops Kylian Mbappe remark after special performance from Liverpool star. Don't blink, things are moving fast at Liverpool. Welcome to the channel, let's get straight into today's big news. UK media accuses Liverpool of sleepwalking versus Tottenham as boos addressed. Liverpool may have climbed into the coveted Champions League spots this season, but a 1-1 stalemate with a struggling Tottenham did little to quell the speculation surrounding the team's head coach on Sunday. As always, Liverpool.com was at Anfield to deliver our comprehensive matchday coverage. We covered our player ratings, immediate reaction, big game verdict, thoughtful analysis, and the responses of both Arne Slot and Igor Tudor in detail. Our colleagues from the national media were also present to offer their own perspectives on a deeply frustrating draw for the Reds and their struggling boss, Slot. Here is their take on Sunday's game. Andy Dunn, The Mirror. Dunn writes in The Mirror, Igor Tudor, whose calamitous spell as Spurs manager could still end soon, leapt into and punched the air while Slot could only shake his head in disbelief. This result was a significant blow for Slot and Liverpool, but a bigger issue for the Dutchman is the growing discontent around Anfield. The nature of the setback, Liverpool yet again conceding a late goal, was certain to prompt some jeering, but there was not a great amount of enthusiasm for the home performance ahead of Richarlison's leveler. In fact, Liverpool had only been ahead through a goalkeeping error. This season, Liverpool have now conceded 8 Premier League goals in the 90th minute or later, and they have dropped 7 points from winning positions at Anfield. No wonder the locals jeered. Mike McGrath, The Telegraph. McGrath writes in The Telegraph, with jeers at the final whistle after the 1-1 draw, there were questions raised about whether Arne Slot is the right man to lead the club forward beyond this season. Paul Joyce, The Times. Joyce wrote in The Times, cry, Igor Tudor had said, or fight. The sight of the Croat fist raised as he celebrated on the touchline showed Tottenham Hotspur opted for the latter, and for now the sob stories can be cast aside. Joyce added, how much of Tottenham's competence was down to Liverpool's insecurities can be debated, although the boos from the home supporters spoke volumes and confirmed the paucity of the hosts' offering. No one inside Anfield was surprised at yet another late sting in the tail or the calamitous defending that preceded it, with Arne Slot's side sleepwalking to another terrible result in their pursuit of Champions League football. Paul Gorst, Liverpool Echo. Gorst wrote in the Liverpool Echo, how galling it should be for the Premier League champions to become the first side not to beat Igor Tudor's Tottenham, a tragicomedy team who are perilously close to playing championship football in August themselves. Gorst added, outside of another Dominic Szoboszlai free kick, Liverpool failed to break down a side who had conceded 21 goals to their hosts in the previous 6 games. That list includes the match from 11 months ago, when a 5-1 win at Anfield preceded some of the greatest scenes ever witnessed at this famous old venue, as the title was confirmed in front of 60,000 fans. That feels like a lifetime ago now for everyone concerned, but the flickering of those joyous memories has maybe kept Slot's job safe from serious, internal scrutiny this long. Second news is Gary Lineker drops Kylian Mbappe remark after special performance from Liverpool star. Gary Lineker has heaped praise on Liverpool winger Rio Ngumoha and drawn comparisons to Kylian Mbappe after an outstanding individual display in Sunday's 1-1 stalemate against Tottenham. Ngumoha, 17, was given his maiden Premier League start by Arne Slot for the clash with Spurs at Anfield. It's fair to say the youngster seized the chance with both hands, shining for the Reds down the left flank and appearing a threat almost every time he received possession. Whilst Ngumoha didn't find the net or provide an assist during the match, he gave Spurs right-back Pedro Porro an absolute nightmare, and the Reds seemed far less threatening when he departed the field. Jamie Carragher offered Ngumoha particular acclaim on co-commentary for Sky Sports, labeling him brilliant and acknowledging you can't stop him in one-on-one scenarios. Now former Everton and Leicester striker Lineker has offered his verdict on Ngumoha, and suggested he recognizes parallels to Real Madrid's Mbappe. Speaking on The Rest is Football, Lineker said, you're always slightly wary of getting ahead of yourself, but you recognize special talent when it arrives, and he looks to me the most likely since Wayne Rooney to absolutely be a superstar. I'm going to go off piece here to a different game, but Rio Ngumoha, my word. You'd have Max Dowman on the right, the future looks bright. Wow, he was incredible. It was his first start in the PL, and again, I don't want to get carried away, I'm not comparing him, but I'm saying that he's got that stop-start sharpness of Mbappe. Not saying that he's Mbappe because he's one of the greatest players, but he's got enormous potential. He wasn't scared to take people on. Paro didn't know which way he was going to go, and then that clever threaded pass through, he went very close a couple of times. I thought he was very special. I'm surprised he went off actually. Ex-Manchester City defender Micah Richards believed the game shifted when Ngumoha was substituted. The Reds were leading 1-0 through Dominic Szoboszlai's first-half free kick by the time Slot decided to substitute Ngumoha in the 64th minute, and Spurs managed to equalize late on as Richarlison found the back of the net. Richards said, "I thought the game changed when he went off. He was pushing Spurs all the way back and then Spurs stayed in the game and got their goal. I thought he was the player of the match by far. I've been in that position, Pedro Paro. You know, when someone's got the better of you and he keeps going, we're shouting, just keep giving the ball to him, let's see the battle. Then you're thinking, is he going to go back into the mode of what us pundits say is robotic and start getting it and coming back? But he didn't, and that was the most exciting thing, where he just wanted to keep going and going with conviction. On another day, he could have had 2 goals and a couple of assists. I thought overall performance for someone so young was very good." Another news: Arne Slot explains himself as Hugo Ekitike decision backfires against Tottenham. Arne Slot has explained the reasoning behind Hugo Ekitike being dropped to the bench for the game against Tottenham. The French striker returned to the side against Galatasaray midweek after a much-needed rest against Wolves. He initially held up play effectively up front, but struggled to make an impact as the game progressed, failing to find space for clean shots and missing a clear one-on-one opportunity. Nevertheless, fans were surprised to see Ekitike be named among the substitutes, with Slot opting to start Cody Gakpo up front and handing a first Premier League start to Rio Ngumoha. Andy Robertson was also spotted giving Ngumoha a pep talk ahead of kickoff. Slot later offered any explanation on why Ngumoha was starting, revealing that Ekitike was unable to train on Friday. "Why now? Because he started training with us this season and he's improving, Slot explained to Sky Sports ahead of facing Tottenham. "His game time has gone up, and then usually the next step is starting, and that's today. First of all, because he did so well against Wolves. First of all, because he's developing well. Second of all, Hugo Ekitike trained for the first time with us yesterday but missed out the day before, mainly because Rio has shown that he's ready for it now. He has to show it today maybe, but if you look at what he did till now, I think the next step is starting, and that's what he does today," was Ngumoha's inclusion that grabbed the attention of both supporters and pundits. Slot has faced increasing calls to give the teenager more game time, following a series of impressive performances off the bench, calls that grew even louder after his standout impact against Nottingham Forest last month. Slot has to start Ngumoha now," Steven Gerrard said on TNT Sports in the aftermath of the Reds' 2-1 defeat. "He's doing more in a small space of time than Gakpo is doing in 60 minutes. Ekitike replaced Ngumoha in the 64th minute of Sunday's game, with Liverpool leading 1-0 thanks to Dominic Szoboszlai's first-half free kick. Slot's decision to start Ekitike and Mohamed Salah from the bench ultimately backfired, as Richarlison scored a last-minute equalizer to snatch a point at Anfield. The result leaves Liverpool 5th in the Premier League table, 2 points behind Aston Villa in 4th. Tottenham, meanwhile, is 16th, just a point above the relegation zone.